an Unspoiled Network podcast.
This is Spoil Me, covering One Piece, Season 1-ish, episodes 52 and 53. We're skipping 50 and 51 because they're filler episodes, but you had better believe I will be talking about them somewhat. I have to. Welcome to Spoil Me. Welcome to the show, everyone. I am Natasha.
And I'm Florian.
Florian's back!
Yay! Yay! Thanks. And I hope you're not too annoyed that I'm always here.
No, it's delightful to have a recurring guest.
I also mean the listeners, like the people out there. Maybe they're like, oh, this guy again.
No, but they don't get to be mad about it. Executive decision.
Well, sounds like a you problem.
Right, exactly.
So, how did you like those episodes? So
the filler episodes, or
the
episodes we're actually covering?
I think so. You watched the filler episodes, I guess.
I did, yes.
Okay,
I watched them earlier today.
Okay, yeah. Those two are two fun ones, like the Usopp and the Sanji cooking. I find them in some ways, they have some character to them. Mm-hmm. But we talked in the group. By the way, guys, join the Discord, and then you can also join the spoiled One Piece chat. And
I don't have any spoiler-free channels for Spoil Me stuff. Everything that's covering Spoil Me, it's all spoiler channels. So just warning, don't go in there if you don't want to be seeing spoilers from people. Yeah,
but we are considerate. We you can on Discord, you can blend it out, certain stuff, that's really cool. And we talked there, and it was the fillers. We would just because the show is so long, so we try to cut corners basically at some points.
Yeah, I can totally understand it. I really was expecting them as fillers to be much more tedious than they wound up being. They were so lively and fun, and that caught me off guard. But stepping back, they really didn't have anything to do with anything. The only sort of callback that we get at all is that they're carrying the fish that Sanji won at the beginning of the next episode, and that's really the only thing. And
I think the fish is they do just shopping in the manga, so it's just basically something that he bought, I think. Or you don't even get to see how he gets it. It's just also there.
Oh, okay. That's right, because the fillers are filling in things that the manga didn't do because they're trying to buy time, right? That's how that works?
At times, sometimes they will also just invent something completely unconnected to anything. The next, I don't know, but the next 5 episodes or something, I will tell you, I will email you or write you on Discord again, are also fillers. Okay. Those are, I feel from the fandom, those are some of the worst fillers that people really like.
Noted.
But maybe, to put them on in the background, it's fine. So,
yeah, I watched just to I like to mention when I've consumed it this way, but I watched these two fillers with dub. And then I went back to the subtitles for the actual episodes that we're covering. So I just wanted to be able to follow them, but I didn't want to be having to pay strict attention. Look at your copper mule mug. I should have made a cocktail. It's too early though. But yeah, I'm jealous.
It's just white wine. But it's
something.
It's something. It's not a cocktail. And what did you think of the? Do you want to briefly talk about the filler episodes? Like,
no, I mean, I just wanted to address that I really did think they were a lot of fun. We've got Daddy the Father, which is just a name that I will always be using from now on for people that aren't going to get the reference, and it's going to seem so strange. It already seems strange even if you do get the reference, but that is so funny to me. And then Carmen, what does she say people call her? I feel like she says Carmen the Spicy or Carmen the Passionate.
That sounds right. Something in this direction. But again, this is like filler stuff. I have a good One Piece knowledge, but not in the filler section. There is
Well, she is a delight, and the woman who did the dub went for it. Like she was like really committed to this woman's voice and the laughter and the like sort of insane manic energy that she brings. Her two little henchmen are incredibly disturbing. I hated. This show is full of weird imagery, but I gotta say, I think those two might have really like been so far the ones that have upset me the most, that I actively wanted to look away every time they were on screen because I was just like, oh no, what is that? What are you doing? So yeah.
Talking of two, I re-listened to older episode, and we never talked about Johnny and Yosaku again. Like that you just completely ignored those two when they didn't come along on the journey or anything. Like after Nami's story, we never talked. I mean, it's fine. They are like not interesting characters. But they were
who?
Those are the two guys, the two swordsmen who were Zoro's bro, in the whole.
Oh God, I forgot all about them.
Yes!
Yeah.
And I was listening to some episodes today, and I was like, I think she didn't even mention them at all. Like in the last episode in Nami's arc, like.
Yeah, did they just like go off and do their own thing again? Because they just disappeared pretty much.
Yeah, no, they're just like, we will go on our own journey now. Bye, guys. But
I wonder if we'll run in. I have to assume like eventually we'll run into them again because the show seems fond of recycling people and callbacks and stuff. But I just like completely. They just were so nothing to me. It didn't feel like the writer knew what he was really wanting to do with them either.
But I just wanted to mention it because I noticed it today when I was listening to some episodes while I did some.
I can't believe that you even said their names, and I was like, "Who? Oh my God!"
It's okay. So
why is this the episode that you want? These episodes? Why did you want to guest for this?
Because now I can reveal something to you. Not reveal. But this is the end of the first saga. And when I say saga, this is how One Piece is structured. It is structured in sagas. We have now finished the East Blue saga.
Okay.
It's called East Blue because we are in East Blue. And basically it's
imaginative.
Yes. And because you always are like, okay, in the beginning, episode, season, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are no seasons, but the structure is like these sagas, basically.
Okay.
And within each saga, there is like, we had like, in this one, we had Usopp's village, we had Sanji's part, and Nami's, like, and those are like arcs. So you basically, you have an arc, you have a saga, and it is compiled of different arcs.
Right.
This is basically how it's structured. And this is basically was the end, you could say, of season 1, if you want to say so.
Okay. That makes it's funny because I didn't even notice this until last week. Or no, maybe it was earlier this week. I always watch the show from my television and it just auto plays the next episodes, and I haven't ever had to correct that. But when I went on Netflix last time and I clicked on it, it accidentally showed me like the different saga names, and I didn't like read them because I wasn't sure if there was anything spoilery in them, but I saw that the one I was on said East Blue, and I was like, oh, maybe that's how they're divided up. So, okay, that's exactly it.
Yes.
So it could have been like season East Blue, episode 40. But then if you go into the next season...
It's not one again. It's just... You can just say the episode number at the beginning, and this is fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But just a little side info. And yeah, but now about those 2 episodes, we have not really talked about them. What did you think? How did you like them?
First of all, I really love, just to be a little bit personal for a second, you guys know that I have like been recently confronted with the realization that I am an optimist, which I didn't really think I was, but the more I meet pessimists, the more I realize that I am. I've always just had this sort of innate belief that things are going to work out, whether that's been proven correct or not. I've just felt like, yeah, even if it goes horribly wrong, in the end, it'll be okay. I just have that general attitude. And Luffy's whole bit here where he's just like, I guess I'll die. And he just seems like, yeah, I'm at peace with it, but I also kind of think it's probably going to be fine. There's just an energy to him, even though he's also surrendering to it. That it resonated with me. There comes a point where you're just like, if you can't change what's happening to you, you've done your best to alter the circumstances and it hasn't worked. What are you going to do other than just smile and get on with it? You know, like that's kind of the best you could do. And the fact that there's a literal lightning strike that saves his life. I have like had things like that happen to me. Not that dramatic, obviously, but where I was about to get so screwed and something completely unexpected that I could never have predicted happened to simply save me. And I just feel like it's been borne out for me personally that things are going to be okay. And I kind of understand because Luffy shit does just work out for him. It just always does. So it kind of makes sense why he has that attitude. You know, he's just also the surrender of the like powerlessness in the moment of just like, well, I tried to get out of it. Guess I can't. Shrug. So I don't know. I really enjoyed that whole bit. And even though I think some people might be irritated at the literal Deus Ex Machina of him getting saved, I was into it. I really liked it.
Yes. Okay, same. I also like it. I always find it interesting in stories, you know. I feel like some people are like, you said Deus Ex Machina, but so much in our lives is also based on coincidence or luck, you know, or bad luck, you know, also. And I feel like you can incorporate that in your story. You know, I don't feel like it's like a cop-out. Sometimes just good things happen, and sometimes also just bad things can happen, you know. It's not like, I feel like this is not always how it goes. I mean, in the story now, I mean, if Oda would always let Luffy win by sheer luck, you know, then it would be, then you would get tired of it. But I mean, it can happen from time to time, and I feel like it's fine. And as you said I actually kind of like it, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, being able to always fight your way out of everything is in and of itself a kind of unbelievable circumstance, you know? Yeah. Everybody is subject to the whims of fate to a point. It's just unavoidable. So, yeah, I have no problem with it. And, in fact, the very fact that nobody could really have saved him makes it a more interesting circumstance than the others were. Because we never saw Luffy get his ass as thoroughly kicked as we see him with Smoker. It's not even close. Every other fight that Luffy's been in, he seems to kind of have an upper hand, and then he starts getting creamed. Because he either gets overconfident, or he starts to get tired, or they had a hidden weapon, or whatever. But this is the first time where Luffy is outclassed from the immediate beginning of the encounter. And that honestly might have been why the Deus Ex Machina felt fine to me. Because I was just so, like, well, you've established very effectively that he can't fight his way out of this. So that's kind of the only option left to you at that point, you know?
Yes, yes.
And also, I just was surprised at how unenjoyable I found it to see Luffy so completely outclassed. I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
No, he's just like pounding away at this guy's face, and the dude's just basically like standing there waiting for him to finish. You
It's
know?
like, it is literally like you would hitting smoke. Like you would be trying to nothing
He's just
air.
like, are you done now? Okay, can we get on with this? Thank you. Like, just you're drawing this out. It doesn't need to be like this, dude. So, yeah, the majority of these episodes, oh my god, although there's a whole other thing, but I was a big fan of it, and it felt like it felt like a season finale to me. It felt like we're moving on into a whole new thing. Although I wanted to ask if you guys know of what the deal is with them all making their sort of like pledge at the end where they put their foot up on a barrel. Is that a thing?
I mean, the thing that they pledge, like, or say what they want, that's like basically just.
But I mean the action of putting your
they put their
feet
foot. Okay, no, I don't know if that is a thing.
Okay.
Maybe somebody in the chat knows, but
I was just wondering if that was, you know, something culturally that, because we'll like sort of put our hands together and and break, and I was like, is it that kind of thing?
I probably would guess it goes in this direction, but
yeah,
he was like, I will make my own twist or put my own thing with it, you know.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's pretty much starts, as far as I know, with Luffy going to this platform, to this execution platform. He climbs up. The policeman is like, buddy. And he's like, boy, get down there or something.
Yeah. Just basically, that's a cultural mark stone. You can't just climb all over it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like something, I don't know. What is... Somebody would climb on the Lincoln Monument, I feel like.
Okay,
yeah.
I was thinking like the Tower of London.
Maybe, yes.
Because they had so many famous executions there.
Oh, okay, yeah. That also fits. And then we get a lovely lady appearing.
What is going on here, guys? I do not know what to think, because they don't really explain what happened to her. They say that she ate the smooth fruit. But she says it couldn't do that much for my beauty. So it's implied that she already looked like this when she ate the fruit, not that the fruit turned her into this, right?
Oh, no. I mean, no. It implies...
Did his punch stretch her out?
No. It implies that she was... This is how she looked saw herself in the mirror already.
Oh.
And she's like, nothing, not much change, just the freckles. Everything else is the same.
Oh, God, I wish I could fucking live like that. How great would it be to just like see yourself? And it's like the opposite of how I have operated most of my life. Bless her. Bless her heart.
Yeah, I'm like, good for her. Good for her, right? In the beginning, she was already like with Kobe, like, you know, the pink-haired boy, you know.
Right, yeah.
She was like always asking him, who is the most beautiful on the seas, you know, and basically she already had this attitude back then. She was like, I'm the most beautiful, like, bitch.
She walks that walk, man. Good for her. I love, like, because, you know, guys, I was very saddened because the one character that is a fat woman main character
Yeah.
became a thin, super hot character, which is such a trope that is just a thing. Either we get a transformation into conventional beauty or we're killed. Those are the two options. And usually we're killed in a self-sacrificing way that is very warrior-like, because to be fat is equated with masculinity, and that makes us good fighters. So those are like the things that, you know, Bernadette says she lost my video. Hopefully you guys can still see me. But in regard to how this is being handled, I do kind of just enjoy that. So I'm not even that mad about it. I'm a little bit mad. I will say I'm still a little bit mad. I can't help that.
Yeah. No, but it's fair.
Yeah.
It's totally fair. And I just love also, I mean, I feel like what's so great about this is also Luffy's reaction. Like, he's like,
right? Who are you? What?
Who are
and
you?
then she's like, evidently she's been chasing him not for revenge, like I thought, but because she wants to be with him, because she is attracted to strength. And since he hit her, he was the first man to ever hit her. She's like, give me some of that. And I'm like, this isn't the message, guys. Oh, and a man hits you, it means he's super hot. But it's fine.
But then again, I don't feel like it's portrayed as like she really is in love with him or something, because she's fine when he gets executed. You know, like she's like, oh yeah, she's like, oh yeah, do that. You know, it's not like she's like willing to do everything for him. You know,
True.
She's like, yeah. So I feel like she is an interesting character for sure.
I am. The moment when Sanji sees a woman who looks like her but with freckles and glasses, is that meant to be that she's in disguise, or is that meant to be that that's just another girl who circumstantially looks like her?
That is supposed to be a joke, like that.
Okay.
That somebody looks mostly like her or just
Gotcha.
like her. Yeah. And
Cambriella says that's also a common trope in anime: strong women falling for the guys who defeat them in battle. I guess,
yeah.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. I am like, that's one of the things that has attracted me to virtually every man I've ever dated, is when I talk shit and they can talk shit just as well back to me. Because I pretty much run circles around a lot of the dudes that I have met in my life. And it's not the kind of, like, that's not somebody I want to spend my time with. But if a dude can keep up and calls me out, I respect that. So to a degree, I can see how that would be true. But also...
Yeah. Yeah, I'm totally there with you. I'm there with you. But let's talk about her devil fruit. Like,
okay. So it's a smooth fruit.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you guys how funny I find this trope. Now, first of all, it's actually not true, because I was about to say, or is it? What's the name of the fruit that Smoker ate? Is it Plume?
I think the English name is Plume, probably, yeah. Yes, okay. They say yes.
So it's always a repeated word. There's two, it's why? It doesn't matter, I'm fine.
Yeah, Luffy's is the gum fruit, so yeah.
Right. But it's basically makes it so that there's like no friction on her skin. So at one point, some guy tries to grab her and his hand just slides right off her. And then later on, she travels by taking off her shoes and just sliding along the ground, which I just think sounds so gross. Like, can you imagine what your feet look like by the time you reach the end of like a crowded city couple of blocks?
But I feel like when there's no friction, then no dirt can stick to you. Like, nothing sticks to you. It all just is way. Like you have always.
I guess you're right.
You're always clean, like no matter what.
It would be really funny if her clothes just couldn't stay on her body, because maybe that's why she wears a bathing suit top.
I was thinking about that. I mean, it's fine. It's like just this is magic. But I was like, but how can she hold things? Like, how can she hold her iron club? Why doesn't it slip out of her hand? Like stuff like this. I'm just like,
yeah, I guess because she's curled around it, but still it should slide out that way. And yeah, I see what you mean.
Kind of, but it's fine. I mean, it's not a big deal, But it's just like, like this nerd talk when you're like, well, when we really analyze it, does this really make sense?
Alex is suggesting maybe she controls when she's smooth.
Yeah, maybe. I thought of that too. Because there are like those superheroes that can like phase through things, like, and they also have to control it. Otherwise, they would just like fall through the ground.
Because like smokers not smoke all the time.
That's true. But then again, Luffy seems to be rubber all the time.
That was something that was sort of like kind of confusing to me with him, because it does seem like he's rubber all the time. And then there are times where I'm like, was that? Or was that just like the magic of anime being wacky? But yeah, I guess like, so, and the thing with this is another trope that often happens to female characters, is that their superpowers will often be linked to having to show skin.
Okay.
And I can't help but feel like that's part of it here. Like her being super smooth, so it gives her a reason to be like only partially dressed, so that's like, the invincible. There's this thing with a character that everybody was like mocking. I can't remember what superhero it was. It might have been Spider-Woman, but she was drawn wearing practically nothing, and the like male author said that, it's because her power is that she has extrasensory perception through her skin. So she has to wear like basically a loincloth and string bikini top, and that's all she can wear in order to utilize her power. And I was just like, all right.
Yeah, sure.
But it's fine. Just have to mention these things, guys. I can't not say it.
Oh, it's totally fair, it's
I love to these two, like, they basically make it so that her beauty is like a superpower.
Yeah, that's the other thing. But I feel like this has, just because men are like this.
Yeah, it's kind of a combo. Like, is it a superpower or is it just like men are easy? Because the whole, like, they all bow down to her, literally, when she's like, who's the most beautiful? And they're like, you are, and they're literally bowing. And then a couple of guards come and they try and arrest her, and they can't do it because she's too pretty. And I was like, people act like this is a joke, but like, I bet this happens. I mean, I know when I was young and hot that I got out of a couple of parking tickets or traffic tickets because I was fine. And I know that's what it was. I don't know what they hoped to get out of it, because it's not like the cop gave me their number or something. But I definitely, got loose from some shit just because of how I looked.
Yeah.
Oda said once that he couldn't have them losing the clothes all the time, so he decided to ignore that part.
Yeah, she means
clothes falling off.
Yeah, or in other, like Smoker, for example, his clothes also turn to smoke. Like
true.
Like it's, it doesn't make necessarily sense, but otherwise, like, everybody would run around naked, basically. It's kind of
yeah.
So
that's true. Pretty privilege is such a thing, says Bernadette. 100% is. And like, it's an interesting thing to be on the end of it. I mean, all people sort of begin to see that as they age, because most of us become less attractive as we age. Not everybody. And I hate all of you who don't. Screw you. But most of us, even if we weren't like super hot when we were younger, we were still hot enough. Being youthful is hot in its way anyway, and then as you get old, but yet I always wonder what it is like for people who have the opposite experience, where I had pretty privilege, and I'm not like hideous or anything now, but having gained weight definitely just completely changes it, plus aging. What is it like to not have had it and then you get it. Because that's what this lady, like, she didn't have it, but she thought she had it. Like, she believed in it. Does it matter if you just, like, believe it hard enough? I don't think so. I think it makes her happy, but it doesn't actually affect the way people treat her the same way.
Well, I feel like confidence, but it's also like can be super attractive, you know.
Sure, but that's only like to a point.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, when it's too much, then it's like, okay, come on, now you're cocky, basically, you know, and that's
and
like
just deluded, like
yeah, totally. Yeah. So Bucky shows up. What do you think? What do you think about the names, or like the lack of names that Luffy has for Bucky? This is one of my funniest jokes. I feel like it's so good.
I can't decide if Luffy's fucking with him or if he's like serious, because part of me wants to believe he 100% remembers Bucky. And he's just like, you know what this guy would hate is if I acted like I didn't even remember who he was. And I don't think Luffy really has that devious streak in him. He's pretty straightforward. So I think likely he did just forget. But either way, Buggy's there is nothing worse. Even if somebody hates you, that is so much better than them just not giving a shit about you, being so indifferent, you know, like Rashawn and I were talking about this on A Song of Ice and Fire the other day about how, like, if we imagine that if somebody was sent to kill us, it would be this highly personal, they're getting revenge, we did something kind of thing. But likely it's just that we have the password to a certain computer at work and they just need that password. So they come and kill us for some shit that is not personal, not important. The person who came to kill us does not know who we are and has no connection to us and could give a shit. And there's something so, like, humiliating about that. And so the fact that Buggy is, like, trying to act like a big shot. Ha ha! I caught you at last! And dude's like, I'm sorry, who are you? Oh, that's so embarrassing. He calls him buffoon.
Buffoon. I love this.
That's not that far wrong.
No. It's even funnier. It's even funnier. It's oh my god.
Booger? Oh god.
Oh, it's so good. Talking about Buggy, Oda, like the creator of the show, I feel like he said at some point that he enjoys Buggy the most, like to having, like, he's like the character that he enjoys the most to creating scenes with him. Like, it's just,
I could see that.
It's like, I don't know, he's like, apparently Oda just really likes Buggy. But I mean, I can see, yeah, as you said, I can see that too. It's like, he is a great character. And apparently we will, I mean, do you think we'll see him again? Because he said at the end that he will go to the Grand Line. So
yeah, I definitely think we'll see him again. I thought when the lightning struck that he was dead. And I was like, that's actually a pretty sick death. Like, getting killed by a lightning strike while you're about to, like, take your foe's head off. Not bad. And then when we see him talking and moving around, I was like, oh, because I really did. I thought he was dead. The moment that we see him with that, like, the blank white eyes, I thought it was similar to Arlong's body when we see that, you know? But really what it is, now that I think about, like, the archetypes in cartoons, Luffy is Bugs Bunny and Buggy is Daffy Duck. He's got really strong Daffy Duck energy. He just takes himself very seriously and gets offended over everything all the time and constantly is working so hard to, like, accomplish the thing. And Bugs Bunny is just sailing through life, completely winning effortlessly all the time. And there is nothing as infuriating when you are a type A, like myself and Daffy, because I identify strongly with Daffy Duck personally. There's nothing like watching somebody who barely seems to be trying, just fucking nailing it all the time. It's infuriating.
Yeah.
So I sympathize. I really do.
So, yeah, then this execution happens. Well, yeah, I love it. Oh, does it? Da-da. No, but I love this. It's like, Luffy's like, oh, I never saw like something like this. Like, it's like, it's your execution dum-dum.
Yeah, he's like, I haven't seen anybody get executed. This is awesome. And he's like, holy shit. Dude. And like, when he says it, I was sort of expecting Luffy to be like, it is? But Luffy like does freak out. He does have like a, what? No! And that was good, because I was sort of about to be like, he better have some sense of self-preservation. Like, you know?
He does.
It's always unclear to me.
Yeah, no, he does. And, I mean, he at the end, not at the end, but I mean, he at the end then smiles, you know, and he's like, this was it, this is what you talked about before. But before that, there is like a stage of like, no, I don't want to die, you know?
Right, yeah.
And I like that. It's like, it's some character, you know? It's layered. Yes. I mean, is there anything else that you want to talk about in this section? I mean, the lightning strikes. I mean, we see like Sanji, Zoro coming in and fighting some dudes.
Yeah.
And Nami and Usopp trying to get to the ship.
Oh my god. I just realized that a part that I wanted to talk about happened in one of the filler episodes, which is when Luffy and Zoro are out to eat. And Buggy inadvertently pays for their dinner.
Oh, yes.
God, I loved that so much. Especially because I was watching the dub, and the guy who does Buggy's voice is really like weird sounding. And they come over and they're like, hey, you didn't have to buy a lunch for us. Thanks a lot. And he just says something like, yeah, whatever. You're welcome. In this really like ordinary everyman voice. And I was just, I don't know why, but I found that so funny. So I was about to like mention that, and then I realized that happened the episode before. And that's when they like tracked Luffy down, because he was been looking for him this whole time. But I just really enjoy that. Yeah, whatever. You're welcome. He doesn't even ask like, what do you mean? I didn't pay for your dinner. He's just like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, whatever. No, it's all. Yes, yeah. There's some funny stuff in these fillers.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see what else is going on here. If just like the lowering clouds and everybody's starting to be like, there's a storm coming.
I mean, yeah, Nami said like there is a storm coming, and I mean it also. From a cinematic standpoint, it's like, okay, a storm is also something. Is always something that indicates danger, and like it builds up tension. Yeah, change, and it. As you said, it feels like a finale. Like not a finale, but for the season, basically. Or this saga. It is like, it sets a tone. So that's
yeah. And also, it was interesting because it helped out a couple different things. Like, you know, the fact that they're trying to burn down the ship, but they can't in the rain.
They can't.
So that was sort of like just plot-wise very convenient and helpful.
Yes. In what's it called? After the lightning strikes, Luffy is like, I survived.
Yeah.
What a beautiful day. And then Sanji asks Zoro, do you believe in God?
Yeah.
And Zoro is just like, this is not the time for this.
I really enjoyed that being added to the script at all. That's good. I mean, that's the kind of question you'd be asking, right? The whole tower falls to the ground, and Luffy's literally just standing there and picks up his hat. And it just says, wow, I'm alive after all.
Yeah. And I think Smoker also says, like, something in the episode, or the next one, is like, is heaven itself trying to save this man or this boy? You know, like, it kind of... At this moment, it feels like it, but as we said, like I don't have a problem with it. It's sometimes in a story it's okay to have these great, not great, but these I wanted to say great. What is the word I'm looking for? Not experience, but
event.
Sorry, event. Yeah, something like this. Not event, but it happens not by planning. It is circumstantial. It's just
okay. Coincidence.
Coincidence. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry.
No problem. No, I know that feeling well, and it's my first language. So
that is great. This great coincidence that was happening here, but still. So I feel like it's the next episode, or right when they run away. It's like basically
pretty much. That's everything. Like I'm looking around, and we just have like everybody splits up. So Nami and Usopp are bringing the fish to the boat, so they're in a whole other location. And then Sanji and Zoro try and like come in and save Luffy, and they put in a good effort, But it's just he's up on the fucking platform, 65 feet in the air, so they can't do anything.
And people are between them. Yes,
I love just the whole attitude of the crowd. Normally, the panning from face to face can feel excessive, but considering what just happened, it's completely valid. Literally saved by a stroke of lightning. Everybody should be standing there with mouths open.
It was like my jaw would be at the ground,
100%.
Maybe what I wanted to ask you is like, what did you expect? Did you expect to happen? Or like, did you like...
I kept sort of like, you know how it is when it's moving fast, so you don't have a lot of time to like really formulate a theory. But I had like, I figured he was going to get out. I don't think Luffy's going to die. But I kept trying to think, who can step in here? And I was coming up with nothing. I kept wondering, is there somebody that like that was on Luffy's side that could have followed them and has been sort of sitting around in the background waiting to step in and do something? And even if there were, I couldn't think of anybody who had like powers, because that was the only way that I could imagine anyone being able to stop this, is if they were somebody who had a devil fruit. So yeah, I couldn't think of anything. I think what I expected was that Smoker might be able to like put a stop to it somehow, just because of his sheer authority. But we see him earlier on in the episode, and he isn't really like rushing to go do anything.
No, he's like, oh yeah, pirates kill pirates. That's great. I love it. Get me some popcorn.
Oh my God. I really enjoy him.
He is you want to talk about the next episode? Because this is like, he is in there, and he is a good, I have to say, we will see other devil fruits, of course, through the series, but his has always been one of my favorites. Like, not to say that later on it's like they're all lame, no, but it's just like, I don't know, I just really like this idea. I just, as you mentioned last time, I just hope it doesn't smell too bad.
Right, like, and that was because when I saw the first episode that he's in, I was talking to Owen about him, because I was, Owen's basically like, I don't care about spoilers if you have some wild shit to tell me about One Piece. So I was like, all right, babe, you want to hear about this power? And Owen was like, so does he have to be smoking for the power to work? And I was like, I assumed that he did, and that was why he smoked 2 at a time, was to create maximum smoke for him to manipulate. But it wasn't until this episode that he specifically says, my body can turn to smoke. I didn't realize that's what it was that he did. I thought that he smoked to create something, to create matter to use as a weapon. And it turns out he can like turn himself into smoke, which is I think probably like, I agree. One of the better powers. I mean, that's really flexible. You could even like sneak in and out of places through like Alex Mack. Did you ever watch Alex Mack?
No, it doesn't.
It was a TV show on Nickelodeon like 30 years ago. And she got, covered in toxic waste or something. And she could turn into a puddle of what looked like mercury and like slide under doors and sort of hide.
I think I've seen like some, images or like short videos of this, because I think this mercury thing tells me something. Maybe I have seen it on TV. I was going to say
the T-1000 in the second Terminator movie does this too. It's really similar looking. If you saw that,
maybe. Yeah, I saw that. Okay, but it's something like this. He can like basically. Yeah, he can do not everything, but I'm like, can he fly? Like he doesn't. I was
about to ask that.
Yeah. I'm just like, how far does it reach? Like. But again, this is like this nerd talk. That is like, it's like, how does this actually work? Like, what can you do? Do you have to leave the bed, or can you just like send smoke out to get you some food and drink?
He must be able to, because like he grabs a bottle off of right at the bar
off the shelf.
He can definitely grab things, but I don't feel like the camera has shown us. I can't tell him completely dissolving into smoke. It looks like his head is always there, and he turns limbs into smoke. But I would be interested in whether he could turn his whole self into smoke.
Yes, but when Luffy punches him, I feel like one punch goes to the face, and like one half of his face is then just smoke.
That's true. That's true. Okay, so then he must be able to entirely turn into smoke. I have to assert that he can fly then. I
guess so too. I would say so too. This is like...
Although, if you get too high in the air and there's like a strong wind current, it could just disperse your body in every direction, and then you're just like buggy, like pieces of you all separated on different islands and stuff.
Yes.
That would be very difficult.
Can we talk about the buggy car, or like the...
What the fuck?
This is... I have no idea.
This shit came out of nowhere. We never saw anything like this before, right?
No. Never. What? And I was
and he's just like, oh, well, just light up the explosive for the fucking, like, the
engine or whatever. Yeah.
What?
I was like... Every time I watch this, I have to pause and look at it in a like still frame. I'm just like, my brain needs several moments to like comprehend what is just happening here. I'm just like, no, we need to time out. We need to,
and we aren't given that time, because like he transforms into a car, and a second later, we've got this bitch taking her shoes off and just sliding next to it. And I was like, what is happening? I just like, I just sat there like the camera pulls back and we just see her in like a surfer pose in bare feet. And then the buggy car.
Yeah. The Barra car. Yeah. It's, I mean, I love it in some ways, but it is so... This? It is so weird. It is so, but yeah. I just wanted to mention it. I'm
glad you did, because my whole face just fell off at that moment. It's done so casually. It's done in a way that implies that we've seen this before, and it's an accepted part of the buggy oeuvre, so to speak. It's like,
yeah, this is how he goes and gets his groceries, like...
Right? Like, I don't know what to make of that. It was just so ugly looking and creepy.
Yes.
Is it actually that much faster? Like, I don't know.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry.
Why couldn't you just have a little car that you sit in? Like, he has to turn his body into... Why? What is that?
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's just because Oda was like, clown car, like.
Oh my
maybe
God,
that was
I can't believe that didn't even occur to me. Of course that's what it was.
Right? That's what it is.
Oh my God, I feel like an idiot. That's 100% what it was. Oh, I'm really mad now. Oh, that's so stupid. I'm so mad. Okay, fine. Fine. I can't stay mad.
Yeah. I find it's so weird and funny, and I love the show. I love it. But something more serious, I feel like. We have then the face-off from Zoro and Tashigi.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like is pretty much something that happens right after that, or soon after this whole thing. What did you think about that, and their conversation after that, if you want to call it conversation?
Yeah, I was actually pleasantly surprised at how much they managed to make me come down on their sides respectively, depending on who was talking and what they were saying. When she confronts him and says, you lied to me, my immediate reaction was no, he didn't. What did he never told you anything about who he was, because you didn't ask and just assumed a bunch of shit about him. And then he says that. He's like, you never even asked what my name was. So no, I didn't. And then when he tries to just keep it moving and she keeps sort of pestering him, eventually they fight. He wins. And she's insulted at the fact that he doesn't kill her. She feels like this is sexist, which is amazing. Mm-hmm. And as he's walking away, she yells at him about this, and it just reminds him too much of, what's the other girl's name?
Quina, his
Quina?
childhood friend. Yeah, Quina.
Okay. And he turns around and accuses her of being a copycat, which I don't know why I was so insulted by that. But I really appreciated her being like, I don't know your friend. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm saying the things that I want to say. Maybe she's the copycat. How about that? And I was like, good for you. Thank you. So, yeah, both of them were just being a little bit ridiculous. And I liked that I could see it from each of their perspectives at any given moment,
Yes. No, I agree. It's okay, you said this before, it's a problem for you in anime to especially with female characters, to tell them apart at times, because it's unfortunate. I mean, not that it is for you, well, it is true. I feel some diversity, guys, but I love it that she's character-wise, she's bitch, no, I'm my own person, just because I maybe I look like her, I'm not necessarily the same,
Yeah.
And I like that.
She's just don't put your baggage on me, bruh. You got your own shit to work out. How about you go hire a therapist? I am not responsible for it. And I was like, amen, sister. Yes. Good for you. Yeah. Because, that's it's wild to me how much people will do that. If somebody just reminds them of another person, they will assign all of these personality traits to a total stranger simply based on the fact that, oh, they remind me of this bitch that I went to high school with. And I'm just I mean, I'm as guilty of that as anybody, know? And we all sort of do that, but we don't say it out loud to that person and yell at them like it's their fault the way that Zoro does, because he's essentially just leave me alone, you're doing this on purpose, is sort of the vibe of it. And it's or it's not about you. How about that? We don't ever like to think that it's not about us, though. I don't blame Zoro for that. I feel that.
Yes.
I am wondering what's going to go, what's going to happen there, though, because she wants to come with Smoker at the end of this.
Yes, also somebody who also will go to the Grand Line, apparently. like there. So I feel like now is a good time, as good as anything else. This is like, as I said, like the season finale or whatever you want to say. And I feel like you can also tell like a lot of groundwork is laid, like in, not just here, but just in the past 50 episodes. And actually, I mean, it's insane to say that, but this is, I think last time Alex was it who said it. The town that we are in right now is called Loguetown. Right. And it is like a play on the log, like it's the prologue, you know, and this is basically
the epilogue, right?
And the epilogue, and this is basically the epilogue of our prologue of One Piece. You know,
oh God. Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, it's
that
like
was the prologue. Good Lord, 50 episode prologue. Holy shit!
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like ridiculous, but it's kind of like, I mean, by the way, I don't know if you remember, but in the first episode that we recorded together, I was like, yeah, I want you to decide on your own, kind of, if you like the show. Like, if you didn't like it, then we wouldn't be doing this. And I was like, okay, I want you basically to bring you to this spot and like to ask you, do you like it so far? Like,
yeah, no, I definitely like it. Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
it's like, I keep on bringing this show up in respect to Doctor Who, because I feel like there has been sort of an assumption that I don't like things that are ridiculous because I didn't respond well to Doctor Who. But Doctor Who is not internally consistent about how ridiculous it is. It wants to be allowed to be ridiculous when it feels like it doesn't want to put in the effort to thinking through anything. But then it wants to be very serious and emotionally compelling and resonant. And it didn't earn that in any way. And it didn't try to make things thematically consistent earlier, or make the ridiculousness even internally consistent within the same 20 minutes, never mind the same episode. And this show, it's ridiculous, but it is like still committed to that in a way that is constantly consistent. And that makes the moments where it's deciding to be emotional, where we have Nami's history, where we have what happened with Zoro, much more affecting, because it doesn't feel manipulative. They're not just like messing fast and loose with whatever they feel like trying to make us feel. It's actually like there's arcs, there's an effort put into that, you know? Don Krieg notwithstanding.
Yeah, okay. But Saji's story was okay, but Don Krieg wasn't. I mean, my opinion.
I hate Don Krieg.
Yeah.
I hope he's dead, like really, really dead.
Really, really dead. Okay, well, no. So what I want to ask, basically, you're down for the ride, for the One Piece
Oh,
ride.
yeah, definitely.
Okay, good. I'm happy to hear that. And I'm just like, I mean, by the way, guys, just so you know, like we are commissioned to like episode somewhat in the 80s, I feel like, or even more.
I don't know. We're into December.
December.
Because Bernadette pre-booked.
Or close to 100. Okay. Gabriella she is like our manager, I feel like. She's on top of everything.
Yeah, because there's like filler episodes that we're skipping, so it's hard for me to know because of that.
Yes. Yeah. But we will let you know what to watch. And
right.
Yes, I just want people to know. But it's not like we will stop there. We will like keep on commissioning. So there will be.
How many episodes are there in the next like saga? Is it another 50 or how?
No, the saga thing is never the same. I feel like the saga is like the next is like it's a bigger one. It's like 100 or something. It's like twice as long, nearly. I feel like, but yeah, you cannot say one saga is. Some sagas are shorter, some are like pretty big. That's why you cannot say a season, because a season, I mean, as we know it from winter, summer, A season is mostly always the same time, and it doesn't make sense when you say season 1 and then season 2 is like twice as long, and then season 3 is maybe just like a quarter or something. So
how weird.
Yeah. But anyway, back to the episode. We talked pretty much about the Smoker Luffy fight, I feel like. Or is there something else you want to add about that?
No, not really. I do love that Luffy has a similar reaction to me, because he's like running towards the ship, and then Smoker appears and it's like, I told you that you couldn't go to the Grand Line until you beat me. And my internal monologue went, oh yeah. And that's essentially the way that Luffy reacts. Goes, oh yeah, I forgot. And like smiles at him like, okay, well let's do that. And he tells, I think it's Sanji with him at that point. He tells Sanji to go ahead because they left Zoro behind. And I gotta say, that's another thing that I really enjoy about Luffy, is that like, when Zoro is like, go on without me, I have to fight this girl, there's no argument from Luffy. Luffy isn't like, no, I have to help. He's just like, he told us to go ahead. He's got it. Let's go. And I feel like so many other writers would have there be like an argument here. I can't leave you. That whole like, boring. I love that Luffy's just like, bye.
Yeah, bye. Because at the end, we know it will shake out in the way that Zoro will fight her. It's not like, okay, let's move along. I mean, it also makes sense in Luffy's character. Not to say that this doesn't make sense. It's totally in character for him.
And then when he says, oh, right, I forgot, to Smoker says, you're such an airhead. And that is the word. I've called him many things, Luffy, but airhead feels like the best descriptor so far. I don't feel like airhead means you're an idiot. Airhead just means that you're like such a flake who just can't keep thoughts straight. Everything's floating around at random inside your head, And that when he said that, I laughed out loud at that moment, because I was like, oh man, this guy has his number. Everybody else is like talking about Luffy or treating Luffy like he's this fucking mastermind. And they are genuinely puzzled when he acts like himself in front of them, because it doesn't match up with what they have decided he is, because they see him as this villain or real genuine threat. And not to say that he isn't a threat, but like he's not in the way they think he is. So every time he acts like himself, they're just like, what's up with this guy? And I love that Smoker doesn't ask what's up with this guy. He does eventually, once the whole green wind that saves them happens. But he just basically nails who Luffy is immediately by saying, you're such an airhead. I was like, well, there it is. The first dude who's actually understood Luffy.
Yes. No, Smoker is like a good... I wanted to say villain, but I would just say character.
He's not antagonist, maybe. Antagonist,
yeah. He's like, He's not like the other villains that we had, like Arlong or somebody. Talking about the green wind, there is also a mysterious person showing up.
Yeah.
Did you catch the name? I mean, we get a name for him.
Doesn't somebody call him like Leopard or something?
No, Smoker calls him Dragon.
Dragon. That's what it is. Thank you. Yeah. I was like, I remember it being some kind of very dangerous, sexy animal. Dragon. And he's got tattoos on his face. I found it funny that Smoker recognized him, because I expected him to be a fully mysterious, like, he swoops in, does a thing, and then everybody's like, who was that? So the fact that Smoker knew him, I thought was kind of interesting. Doesn't seem to be a pirate. It's like he's a mage character. And even though Smoker knows him, when that wind happens, which I thought that was Dragon's doing, Smoker seems totally flabbergasted. So, like, apparently he knows Dragon, but he doesn't know what Dragon can do, or isn't familiar with everything, or I don't know. That occurred to me. Alex is saying in the chat, I thought the whole storm was Dragon when I first saw this. It occurred to me, actually, that the storm might be coming because of a character, like a new bad guy who had eaten a storm fruit. I don't know. And it was like he was bringing the storm with him. And then but we don't see Dragon until the storm is gone. So that was part of why when he appeared, I was like, maybe. And then I was like, no, I don't think so. I mean, still maybe, I guess. But I just figured we don't see his face until the storm's dissipated. Because the storm the storm's, I guess, still happening. I'm just thinking about the lightning strike being like the peak of the storm. But I guess that's not necessarily true.
It's still raining. And then when this green wind happens, this is like a moment where everything is kind of like still. Like it's just this wind. There's no rain or something. It's just this, basically. It's
right.
Like it occupies everything apparently. And yeah, so is this your theory? Would you like say this dragon character has like some sort of devil fruit, or?
I don't know enough about this universe. Is devil fruit the only way that people can have powers? Is that is that it? Because I kind of feel like it doesn't have anything to do with devil fruit. I don't know why I think that, but I don't know. We've seen so little of this universe. We've been on boats most of the time, and we've like landed on a few islands here and there that have been very similar to one another in a lot of ways. But it's obvious that there's like other really wild shit happening. Like Mihawk alone is him just being able to apparently cut an entire ship in half. I don't know what that is. Is that a devil fruit power? Is that just him doing something else, accessing something? I don't know. So I think this guy conjured the wind, and I think that he saved Luffy for some reason. Like, I think that he has an interest in keeping Luffy safe. Don't know why, and I'm not putting that as a devil fruit power. I'm going to put that as something else. I don't know, like maybe magic, just like sheer magic, like incantation magic. I don't know.
No, it's fair. I mean, as I said, it's basically we're still in the prologue, so
right.
So it's not like it's insane. I just love to say that. But I have to say, when I think back, I mean, I will not spoil anything, but I feel like 80% or like 70% of the groundwork is laid, like for the rest for the story. Not to say there's still there will be twists and stuff like this, but a lot of the basic stuff is really like introduced here, and things that you first time watching don't even like notice, and then when you rewatch it, it's like, oh, they already said this here, but first time it was just went right over your head as a first time. Right. And I feel like it's a mark of a good writing. I feel like.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I always think that that's part of what I've compared this with Cradle a few times, and Cradle also does that. It's you reread it and it's just got so much early on that was very clearly pointing to some shit that you just didn't have the information to know that it was significant. But when you reread it, it's very rich and rewarding to reread.
Yeah,
so
One Piece is the same. Like, it is rewarding to visit again, and I like it that you can watch it also with Owen. So I mean, it's not the same, but at least you can be like, oh yeah, there was something there. And then basically they escape, or Is there something in this episode
Luffy
that you want?
slingshots them all onto the ship. I love when he's like gearing up and Zoro, I think, says like, oh, I have a really bad feeling about this. And they try to like run away, but they don't get away.
No. Like Zoro is like, he knows him by now. He knows Luffy by now. He's like, I mean, Luffy just basically chucked him away from Arlong, like, out of the ocean.
That's true. Oh my god, I forgot about that. That was so undignified.
Yes.
But yeah, because like Nami, she's realizing that they're firing cannonballs and the ship is all over the place. So she's like, we gotta get out of here. And Usopp at first says something like, "What? We can't just leave everybody." And she's like, "If we don't, this whole ship is going to like crack in half and go to the bottom of the sea. So we'll figure out a way to pick everybody up. We're not just abandoning them, but we have to move now." And I was grateful that she was practical.
Yes,
because she's 100% right. And Usopp was just starting to give her a hard time. I was like, Usopp, look at the situation. But he backs off pretty quickly.
Yeah, so. No, he once it's explained to him, he's like, okay, fair. And also when they're running towards the ship, he is like, when he hears like when Nami says, "Oh no, they're probably going after our ship," he runs faster. Like he's kind of the ship. I feel like because was a gift from his hometown, you know, like from where he comes.
That's
I feel
true.
like he's somewhat more attached to it, you know.
Yeah, that didn't occur to me, but that's a good point.
And speaking of Usopp, anyway, he jumps in the water and slingshots people out from the water. And I have to say, I'm impressed by this. I'm just like, he's in the water and still hitting his targets.
I was thinking that myself when he was doing that. I was just like, oh, damn. Because he has to tread water while he's doing that. I don't know if you guys have tried treading water and doing anything, but it sucks. And that boy has boots on, I will remind you.
Yes.
So, but yeah, that whole bit, everybody got like their moment to shine. Sanji also has, I love at one point, he's like kicking guys and he's kicking some more guys and then he kicks a few other guys and he just stops and says, "This is endless." And that was, there was something about the way he said it. It just felt like somebody having a really long day at work. And they have just dealt with the same crisis like 8 times in a row. And it just keeps happening. And they're like, come on, man. And that's kind of the energy that Sanji always brings, to be honest, is this vague sense of like, I've done so much already today. Can we not do this now? And that comes from working in the food service industry. I'm telling you guys, that's just, it wears you down. Until that is how you approach everything, with that vague sense of just exhaustion. But yeah, getting flung onto the ship that was a tidy way of getting everybody there. I was happy with that personally.
Yes, yeah. And then we have the foot. I don't know. The foot
it's such
thing.
A weird thing. I really want to know, guys, if you know, like, if this is...
please, me too. If you know if there's something behind it, but I don't know. And this is kind of the end of the episode. Yeah, Smoker goes to the Grand Line. Buggy will go to the Grand Line. So I feel like it will not get boring in the Grand Line.
Yeah, no.
And, well, since we have a little time left, I would like to ask you some questions. I mean, but I wondered, like, we have now our crew. Do you dislike anybody on the crew? Like, would you say anybody is like, when they're on the screen, you're like, oh.
It's like, so I'm going to say Usopp, but I have an asterisk here. Because I don't dislike Usopp, but I feel like I can't get a hold of him. Like, every time I sort of feel like I understand him, he does something really wild that I'm like, why would you do that? And then it's not that I'm annoyed when he's on screen or anything, because when he's on screen, things tend to be pretty funny, honestly. It's just that I guess I relate to him the least. You know, like Luffy has this sort of sense of just everything is going to work out because it just will, which I can understand. Zoro's constantly like just done and over it. And like, just call me when you need me to fight somebody. Sanji is woman crazy, food crazy, and otherwise so languid that he's practically molasses. Nami likes clothes, is overconfident, and loves money. I have a very, very solid sense of all of them. Usopp, it's like, he's a liar, but he's not a good liar. He's a coward, but then he'll stand and fight after all because shame overcomes him. So it's not like he's like a completely shameless coward. He has shame. He just does, and he doesn't feel like as connected for me in a lot of ways. So he's probably the one that, and also, I will say it, the way he's animated creeps me out. That long nose, I don't like it. And his weird mouth, just there's a lot about his look that I find sort of off-putting. So I think that might be some of it also, you know. Everybody else is like almost ordinary looking, other than being like really jacked or having green hair or wearing a suit perpetually. And he's the one that looks the most like a 12th grader wandered in, and all of these people are in college, and you're just kind of like, what are you doing here? You know, like a literal slingshot sticking out of his back pocket of his overalls. Like, it's just weird. So like I said, I don't dislike him. I just feel the most sort of puzzled by him consistently, you know?
I feel like that's totally fair. But because I wanted, they already wrote it in the chat, I wanted to ask you if you want to to rank our main five.
Oh, okay.
Because this is a lot of discussion in the, who is your favorite crew member and stuff like this. And I mean, I do this, I have my ranking too, but I have to say, I don't dislike anybody on the crew. It's not like that I'm, say, because you're my least favorite doesn't mean that in your case, probably Usopp would be on the last place, I would assume. But
I don't know, because the scenes that he's in tend to be really funny.
Yeah, he is he has a lot of comic relief kind of moments. And
I feel honestly, I would probably put Sanji at the bottom, only because him being constantly girl crazy is very tedious to me. I love his food passion, but the girl thing and him constantly simping for Nami, I'm just ugh. So probably I'd put him on the bottom. Then Usopp. I think probably I would put Luffy next, only because he needs babysitting. You can't every time he gets sent out to do anything by himself, shit goes left. You can't do it.
Yeah, what to say? You cannot let him out by himself.
Nami would be second, and I'll be perfectly honest. A lot of it is just that she's the only girl, so she just gets total jumps because of the fact that she's the lone girl putting up with all of these dudes. But also everything that she went through, and she is just so resilient and badass. And then Zoro is just number one because obviously, I just feel there's no. I see. Alex says Luffy and then Zoro. I can say that I get that, but it's no contest. If there's anybody that I wanted to just chill with for the day, it would probably be Zoro. Can you imagine how tiring it would be to hang out with Usopp or Luffy?
Oh my god! It is a vibe. I don't want to say vibe. It is a energy level required. I feel especially for Luffy, it is an energy. Yeah, that you need for that. Okay.
And I just how consistently level-headed Zoro is, but there's always a dash of like impatience in there, frustration with people. There's like, he's got a bit of a superiority complex sometimes that I feel like there's a sensation that he's aware that he has it and he knows it's kind of shitty, so he keeps it in check, but it's there. And I feel him on that. Alex says, I wouldn't want to hang out with any of them in real life. I'd feel like I'm losing it. I could hang out with Nami. We could have a really good time. Me and her would be like this. I could see that.
I mean, not to be sexist or anything, but I feel like when you're a woman, you probably also could pretty good chill with Sanji. I mean, if he will give you good food, that would be like...
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, maybe I can also see that it would be super annoying at some point, but there will be good snacks and drinks and everything, so...
That's true. That's fair.
And besides the Straw Hats, I mean, our crew here, is there like, from like all the characters that we have met, I just wanted to like ask you, is there like a favorite or like, not even like in character personality, like maybe looks or somebody that you're like, man,
I feel like there is somebody that is like tickling my mind that I can't put my finger on, that had a design that I was just like, that is everything. And I can't remember what it was. I can't even remember if it was like a villain.
Do you have an idea where it was? Like,
no, I'm going to have to take a pass and get back to you and think this over.
It's okay.
At the start of the next episode.
I mean, there are a lot of characters here.
Yeah.
So.
I really do love Duck Lips, though. Like, what a weird design overall. I love that he looks like he's in a boy band. There's just like the hair and the overall sort of energy about him. He was the most surprising out of all of the fishmen. And
okay, interesting.
Yeah, I really thought he was fun. But yeah, I feel like I'm forgetting somebody that I really enjoyed. That's going to drive me nuts.
I mean, one that I always like is Django. I
was about to say Django. Yes. Oh my God. How did I forget him?
He is unique.
Yep.
I don't know.
When I was rewatching it with Owen in the dub, it struck me how hilarious a couple of the lines are when he shows up and he's just like, what do you mean? I'm a totally normal looking guy. And it just like, it got me. It really like, I started cracking up and I was like, I've seen this already, but it just hits me different when it's the dub. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But yeah, his whole look is weird. And he consistently is like, I mean, I'm here for you, Captain, but also, what the fuck? Like, he questions, what's his face?
Cool.
What is it?
Cool.
Oh, okay. I keep wanting to say Cujo. But yeah, no, definitely him.
Okay, good. I mean,
who's somebody else you were thinking of?
I don't know. Me and Buggy, of course, is a character that is like great. I mean, I also like Tashigi. I mean, we didn't talk about her so much in these episodes. Like,
true.
But yeah, of course now we will see like maybe more of folks like Shanks and Mihawk. Like those are like just some. Those are like goals, like people that we work towards. So,
right.
But I feel like in these, they got also a good introduction. As I said, that's the things that I said, what I meant before when I say like 70% groundwork is laid here, because it is like, we see, or at least hear about a lot of, also big shots, not just, not everything is just small fries.
Yeah. And of course, what is her name? Heart Lady?
Alvida. Yes.
I really enjoy her design so much. And even if she became super hot and it's like a bit of a letdown, she still has a great ship that I want. So at least that's still there. I mean, I just enjoy that whole theme. So I'm all about it.
No, that's good.
There was one thing that we didn't, I feel like that I wanted
Oh, sorry.
that this all happens exactly 22 years to the day from when Gold Roger was murdered, which I don't think that we knew it was like the exact to the day anniversary. Did we? Is this the first time we've heard that?
I feel like this is the first time we heard that, yes.
Okay.
But, yeah. But I don't feel like, I mean, this is again a thing. Luffy is like, he's like,
Luffy
oh my god,
know, right?
No, he doesn't know, but I also feel like he would not care. You know, he's like, I'm not here because it's the 22nd anniversary. I'm just here because I'm here.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I was just wondering if there was significance to the date of it happening. Because there keeps being this sort of suggestion that Luffy is like linked to Gold Roger somehow, either just like in spirit, or that there is like just, you know, people keep seeing sort of similarities between them. Cause, Smoker asks, like, have you ever seen anybody else smile when they were about to be executed? And Gold Roger's apparently the only pirate he's ever seen react the way that Luffy did. But yeah, just wanted to mention that because I was like taken aback. I was like, I don't feel like anybody mentioned that, like, it's the anniversary of the day coming up. I feel like in a town like this, it would be a holiday. You know, the anniversary of Gold Roger's execution would be this weird sort of touristy celebration.
Yes, like
you know?
At least for the commercial, you know, like
exactly.
Okay, and with you saying that, I have to say, I feel like Smoker is like a Gold Roger fanboy. Like deep in his heart, like not openly, but he is like, I mean, he knows it. Like he doesn't need to look at the calendar. He's like, oh yeah, today is the day. This happened 22 years ago. He's a Marine, and he definitely is, has something against pirates. But this one pirate, like the king of the pirates, basically, he was impressed by him, and definitely is, a fanboy, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely agree. I feel like there was something else that I was going to ask, but now I don't remember what it was.
I don't know.
Yeah.
How much time do we have left?
We're out. Really.
We are.
We should probably wrap.
Yeah, I mean,
is there anything you want to say before we do?
No, from my side, it's good. I mean, you guys, I draw comics online. If you want to find me, you can go to Instagram or Twitter. That would be south.art. And yeah, would be cool if you would check it out.
Did you post in the self-promo?
Yeah, I also posted
on
in the Discord. So if you want to go, you also can go and find it on the Discord. That would be all, I feel like. Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it. The show,
yes,
the
me
One
too.
Piece. It's. I hope it brings some joy, some delight in your life. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like this show can really. When I have a bad day, sometimes I just watch some episodes, and it really can bring lighten your mood.
Especially considering a lot of what I get commissioned to read it or watch can be heavy. So it's nice to have something that's very like effervescent mixed in there to sort of leaven it all, you know? All right. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us in the chat. Thank you, Florian, for joining me again. I appreciate you. And those of you some people have been asking me about episodes slots opening. We're currently, you guys know that like everything gets opened up 3 months out from like whatever day you're sitting in, the present day. And we are currently in the wedding/honeymoon period of December, 3 months out. So that's why everything is looking like it's booked up. All of that time has been blocked off. So there won't be any openings until like late September. I think not until like the 27th or so. So just letting you know that it's that's what's going on there, because I know some people have been like, what the fuck? All right. Well, thank you all again. And I will be seeing you again soon with a new episode. Until then, guys. Toodaloo, motherfuckers.
Bye.
That was an Unspoiled Network podcast.